going on, Raider Nation? Oh, 3-0, baby. You know what I'm saying? Now look.
That's right, baby. That's right.
Voice of reason here.
That.
Voice of reason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Missed PI in the end zone. Miami wins that game. Congratulations on another blown call by the refs to give you the game. Good job, Raiders. Way to go, baby.
Now I have a sound clip I want to play of JT the Brick stating that nobody in Raider Nation predicted 3-0. Nobody! But you know what? It's right here at the SoCal Raider Report.
That's right.
There's 3 mother effers that said there would be 3-0. That's me, that's Raider Joe, and that's Raider Joe Jr. Okay?
That's right.
How about that? All right? Now listen, we're getting into week 4. We're going to get into it. John's taking a bunch of shots in the chin. He's a little bit weary. Meanwhile, Raider Mike is over there like he's at the press conference. He's got it all figured out. Well.
Well, you know, we're not only winning, it's how we won. All right. I mean, we're the first team in NFL history, the history of the NFL, to be 3-0 by beating 3 teams that won 10 games or more prior year. And
history.
On top of that, how good our very own Derek Carr is playing and finding his receivers. We are the first team in NFL history, John. History to have 4 receivers with over 200 yards receiving after the first 3 games. 4 different receivers. We talked about the first game about him focusing just on Darren Waller. Well, we got that fixed. We got Darren Waller with 224 yards. We got Henry Ruggs III, 237 yards. We got Brian Edwards that's coming into his own at 210, and then Hunter Renfrow, third in Renfrow. I'm going to call him second in Renfrow too, because see, anytime you throw him the ball, he's going to catch the ball. 204 yards on the year. So remember, that's the first team, that's just the first team, not just this year, not last year, in the history of the NFL. We're making history. This is going to be one of those years where we're going to look back and say, remember the 2021 Las Vegas Raiders, how they just dominated the league. I love it.
Hey, Joe, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
What do you think my lucky number is right now? What do you think my favorite number is?
13.
13! You know what? Hunter Renfrow.
That's right,
okay?
baby. Mm-hmm.
Second down and 9, okay? That's what you can count on for freaking third and Renfrow. So listen up.
Glad you guys celebrate the Super Bowl early, but are we recapping the game?
Oh, wait a minute.
Format?
Oh, you mean all the talk about the Super Bowl being in LA versus us with the Rams? You mean the dream Super Bowl? You mean the one that should have happened a long time ago? Yeah. That's being talked about, John. And I understand what you're saying, and I understand your season's over. You said aloha with that shirt last week. That's fine. Let's just kind of review real quick what happened.
Mahalo.
Raiders went 3-0.
Right.
It was an ugly game. Now, truth be told, they did not cover the spread. It was a terrible letdown at the end, and we've seen that so many gosh darn times, right? But listen, in the end, we pulled the game out, and that's a game that we would all agree that typically the Raiders would have lost, right?
Yeah, and I don't think we apologize.
And if they call pass interference, you lose that game. There's pass interference in the end zone, you lose that game. So the Dolphins.
I got something for you, John. I got something for you when I'm up. Watch this. I'm going to stifle you so bad. You're going to feel so bad. You're just gonna go away.
If they call it a fumble recovery, we would have 4 rings right now. So the fact of the matter is that they call the calls the way they are. I don't want to hear about a missed call. Believe me, we are the worst. We are the team that deals with all that shit. If they would have called the right call, there would have been no immaculate reception. It was an immaculate deception. So don't tell me about a referee.
Well, listen. I know that we got horses running. I can see Raider Joe Jr. is about to freaking explode. But I want to get to Mike, Raider Mike in there. tee off on John, please. And we don't want to go too hard on John. It's been a bad couple weeks for John, no doubt.
Oh no, I'm not going to go off on John. What I'm going to do is when I recap last week's game, that marvelous game, just my recap is going to. So, are we on recapping? Is that what we're doing? I just want to make sure I'm
we were just talking about last week's game. Well, how exciting!
Hey, here it goes. So I'm gonna real quick respond to Big Joe over there. Although I do share in the enthusiasm with all these kind of records that we're setting so far this season, I am going to kind of be on the side of well, not on the side, but I'm going to kind of take the side that John would reasonable John. Now, not unreasonable John, not bitter John, but his alter ego, one of his alter egos, Reasonable John, is, although I do share in some of these great feats that we're overcoming, records that we're setting as outlined by Joe, but I'm gonna just stay calm, and I'm still gonna kind of sit like this and let the season play out, because ultimately I would rather not break any of those records and go deep into the playoffs, who knows, maybe win the Super Bowl, than break these records. But I do think it's a good sign, a really good sign, and something we haven't seen in a couple decades. Obviously, some of those things have never been done, right? But let me get it started. I thought it was an awful start. You guys saw the game. Anyone that saw the game would agree that was an awful start. I mean, that pick, it's just, it was a cross-up between receivers and Derek Carr. He stopped. I think that I heard that play design was set for him to, if he's not being pursued, to kind of squat, and Carr thought he was going to keep going on the route, and it was a pick six, okay? Now, that happens. Those things will happen. I don't like them happening, but they will happen. Here's my problem. My problem, and I'm going to go negatives and then I'm going to go positives. My problem is, well, when you give up a pick six, and that's compounded on the very next series with the bonehead go for it on your own 34, 35-yard line, that ends up resulting in another score on a turnover on downs, I think that's a big problem there. We got to get those things in check. Now, I will admit that if the Raiders can convert on fourth down, then he's hailed as a hero, Gruden is, right? But I wouldn't have done it, and I'd like to think that as the person of reason, I still would have said, whoa, that worked out for us, but I wish he wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that, okay? So awful start, 14-0, and then, we have continued issues with the high snaps by Andre James, I think it was. Give me 1 second, tell these kids to stop.
Sounds like a Raider household right there.
Okay, John. I get it, John. You got it all together. Your kids don't yell. I get it. You got them in the closet or something. Are they shackled? I don't know what's going on.
Just like any good Steelers fan, I left my kids during football season, okay? All right.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So it gets worse, right? It gets worse. 2 bad snaps, 1 results in a intentional grounding. I think luckily it was an intentional grounding. I think we would have been worse off if he would have obviously gotten sacked back there, or if they would have recovered the ball. And then, we end up missing an extra point, and that just, I didn't think, and you guys were on the text thread with me, I didn't think that was going to affect us, and it ended up biting us in the butt down the stretch. So I was wrong on that one. You guys were right on that one, but I thought that it was okay. It was wasn't the worst thing in the world. Let's see, you got that extra point that we blew. And then I think that overall down the stretch, Raiders defense, the failure to get stops, critical stops when we needed them. It forced an overtime, right? It forced an overtime, and that's, I don't know, it's exciting, but it's never good, right? But what I did like is that after we were down 14-0, we did not panic. We started kind of nicking away. I think we got a field goal and a safety, and then eventually a touchdown. I think it happened before halftime. I'm not sure. I think it did, because I think we were only down 2 at halftime. Hey,
we did 25 unanswered points.
Yeah, so that was very good, because I think we had was 14-12 or something like that at the half, and that's like you're blessed to be in that situation with that horrendous start. And then it gets even better in the second half, right? More touchdowns. Carr is targeting multiple people. Kind of not your primary target guys for touchdowns even, right?
He's wheeling and dealing.
Yeah. If you get rid of those mistakes, we win handily. Yeah. It's John, we can go back and forth on if that wouldn't have got called, you would have lost that game. Okay, well, here's my retort to that. If we don't give up 14 unanswered points in the first quarter, we win handily. So we can keep comparing play by play, but I think ultimately that's our failure to, pick six, compounded with a bad call, missed extra points, and then failure to stop the offense when it really mattered in the fourth quarter is what led to the close game. But all in all, we're able to pull it out and pull out a victory, and that's all that matters. We learn from our mistakes. I think it was 31-24, and I predicted 31-28. So I think I won that. I think I won that score prediction.
You're pretty close.
I didn't get it spot on.
No, you're good.
But anyways, that is my summarization and my take on week 3 performance of the Raiders. So long-winded, I know, but I wanted to get it in, so handle.
Good. And you're right. I think all points considered, you're absolutely spot on. So why don't we get into what we just talking about, those pillaging picks, because those are rough.
I just have a couple questions real quick. And just because I'm not a real big Raider fan, what's your center's name? Is it Andre James?
Andre
Okay,
James.
he's the lowest graded center in the league.
Yep.
What's your hold on? What's your guard's name? Is it Simpson? Something like that?
John Simpson's currently in for incognito.
Okay,
and
so he's
is on the right side.
And he's the lowest graded, and then who's your other guy that's 8th lowest? So you have 3 players that make up a combined worst graded unit for the run. So what I would tell you
guys
is,
are not though. Colton Miller on the blind side.
Okay, hold on a second here. I'm gonna give you a compliment, but I'm gonna tell you there's something to worry about. This is reasonable John speaking here. Derek Carr is playing MVP level. I've said it. I've given him compliments all season. He is playing out of his mind. Now, if he has a bad game and you got to rely a little bit on that run, or you play a team like the Chargers that drops everybody back in the secondary, are you going to be able to run the ball? They're going to say, throw it, Derek, because you're the 4th highest passing team on 1st and 2nd down in the league. So they know it's coming. They're going to know that it's coming this week, and that's going to give you guys problems. So I'm just saying, you're going against a very, very good defense. And I think that that's going to be problems if Derek Carr doesn't play at an MVP level. If he does...
Well, that's a good tease, because actually you're dead wrong, because the Chargers are a horrible run defense team.
Yeah,
so that's fine.
Correct.
They don't have to be good against your defense. Oh, you're
They're
wrong.
almost dead last. That's fine.
Well, I think we're going to cover that. Aren't we going to...
You know what?
Are we gonna cover week 4 in a little bit? I don't think we're on week 4 yet, right?
We're gonna get right to it.
I'm just excited the real MVP.
Let me just rebuttal John.
It's something unreasonable.
John. And those are concerns that, believe me, as Raider fans we see, but we're still winning with those concerns. Like Carr said, time on task is how these guys are gonna get better. These guys are rookies. Again, John Simpson is not the starter. Once you incognito with the starter when he comes back. But running game is the issue. If you think about the offense, I would say running game, we need to get going. I mean, Peyton Barber did have 100 yards last game, but if you think about the issues in the running game, thank God Derek Carr is playing at this level, because if he wasn't, we would have lost these 3 games, but we didn't. So winning despite that, and as they get better with experience?
I'm telling you, I agree with that. I don't know why you're defensive again. I'm saying Derek Carr, if he plays at an MVP level, can overcome those things. But if he has a bad game, then you're in trouble.
Well, you're right. But I'm gonna get to that later. Let's go into our pillaging picks though. Let's just talk real quick about the pillaging picks. Hit it.
What's my record? Are you keeping track of my record? I believe I'm 3-4.
You're a disaster. I mean, you did 3 pillaging picks last week. If you want me to run back the tape, how'd you do?
I was 3-0 last week. That's how I was last week. Join this. I mean, people should be watching this because I'm just winning money hand over fist over here. Insane.
Swami. Yeah, I'm gonna have to review the tape, but we'll put it back up.
So are we? So am I going to do my pillaging and then we're going to move on to everybody in the same path? Okay. So I'm still
just going to review the picks via video, and then we'll go from there. But let's get into this week's pick. By the way, we lost. We lost Junior.
Yeah, we did. But he gave me his pillaging pick, so I'll give him when I get mine.
Okay. You probably got to work. He's got some things to do. He's a young man.
What a show! What a show!
So I'm still getting used to the pillaging pick. I'm still getting used to what I'm supposed to do, how many I'm supposed to make. I'm just gonna keep it simple, and it's not groundbreaking stuff here today. It's not a very bold prediction, but I think I'm just gonna say that the Ravens are gonna beat Denver. I think Denver's favored by a point or so, but I think Baltimore is gonna beat Denver. That's my bold prediction for this week. And I'll leave it at that.
It's actually an even spread now, so it's an even.
Oh, really?
Pick them, yeah.
All right.
So,
that's a good game.
Yeah.
Where's the game at?
The game's in Denver.
It's tough in the Mile High City.
It's going to be tough, yeah. I don't know. Denver really hasn't played anybody notable that I can think of this season. So Ravens have given us a hard time. They who the hell did they beat after us? They beat somebody notable. Who was it? It was the Chiefs, right?
They beat Kansas City,
they beat
and then had
in overtime.
Last place Chiefs.
Yeah. So that's my thing. So, and then is that it for me?
You can do it
for now.
Yeah. We're gonna preview the game after, but go ahead, Joe.
Okay, so Little Joe Raider Joe Jr. predicts Washington Redskins to beat. Washington Redskins will beat the Falcons, which I see that. So that's his pillaging pick. For mine, I have two, and I have two, and they're both away. They're both away teams. I'm gonna tell you right now, the Chiefs are gonna demolish the Eagles. Take the 7, give the 7 points. They're going to win by 7.
You're laying out.
ESPN has it at 7. And I'm also taking the Steelers to cover 6.5.
What?
They're playing in Green Bay. They're getting 6.5 points.
The Steelers.
I'm going to tell you right now that they're a veteran team, and they're hearing all this negativity. And they got a good enough defense to keep it close, and those are my 2 picks.
Okay, all right, so I'll go next, and I'll say that one of those, great minds do think alike. Unfortunately, when you have that black skewing some of your reasonability, that's the only problem that Joe has in life. Is the Raiders they're black cloud over them, you can't see reality.
Black
but I
baby.
The Kansas City, I agree with him. I'll take them at 9. I think that they are going to go into Philly. Philly looked awful. They couldn't do anything against Dallas. Horrible.
Hey, don't scream.
Or does Dallas look that good?
Well, maybe it could be that Dallas looks that good. My other one, and I couldn't believe this one, speaking of Dallas, is that Carolina is getting 4.5 points against Dallas. That seems Carolina looked like the real deal. And I know that Sam Darnold is not that proven yet, but their whole combined team, when they were playing, they looked like the real deal. And I don't know that they're going to win the game, but 4.5 points is a lot. So those are my 2 picks. Don't pay your mortgage. Double it down on these picks. You're going to be rich.
Hey, John, do you think that, real quick, what about Buffalo? Do you think they're going to cover 16?
Who they play?
Maybe.
An awful Texans team.
In Buffalo?
What I will tell you, Joe, about this the Steelers is I would love for them to cover the 6. The problem is until they do something, you can't rely on anything. They've thrown the ball 13 times behind the line of scrimmage. Their leading receiver is Najee Harris. The good thing is they could keep it close with the defense within a 1-score game because TJ Watt's coming back this week. So it could be close, but until they can push the ball down the field, until they do it, then I don't have faith in them to do it.
Yeah, and you're not dumb. And the Steelers look like garbage. And no offense, don't try to poke the bear again. But let's just get real with a real good pick. And here's a real good pick. Solid pick against the spread. They're giving the Chargers 3 points at our home stadium. So if you're not a dumbass, you pick the Raiders. The Raiders are going to cover that easy, and the Raiders are going to outright.
Hey, the disrespect is what I respect.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I'll be there. I'll be on site. We'll have some footage from the game for next week. Me and my mom and my brother.
The Chargers are chilling.
The Raider Nation.
The Chargers just beat the Chiefs on the road, right?
Yeah, like we ain't beat the Chiefs either. And the Chiefs look like garbage. The Chiefs have almost lost every week. The Chiefs don't look the same. Andy Reid.
Well, that's a referendum on the Chiefs, though. That's not boasting too much of the. That's not boasting too much of the Chargers. I think that's a referendum on the Chiefs because they lost twice.
Word is out, dude. The word is out. The game plan was the Raiders beat them, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did the same thing in the Super Bowl, and it's the same thing right now. The word is out on the Chiefs. That's it, and that's that. But the thing is not out is on the Raiders. So let's get into this week's game against the Chargers. Let's get into that quick preview. Yeah. How about the keys to the game?
Well, for me, Jason, I think it's more about the Raiders. About the Raiders playing it to their potential. I do think that this win is going to be the best win of the year for us. I think what we need to start doing is beating teams and beating teams. I think last week we were clearly the better team against Miami, but it still came down to the wire, which it shouldn't. Those are the teams that we should beat easily. I'm not going to think we're going to beat the Chargers easily because I do think they're a very, very good football team.
Oh, it's going to be just like the last 2 games last year. They were both down to the wire.
I thought they were very good last year. They just figured out how to lose almost every game last year, but they came down to the wire every time. But I do think, again, we're at home in LA, and then we're
75% of the seats sold are Raider fans, and that's back in the LA Times.
Josh Jacobs should be back this week, so we should have a little bit more running game. Our running game should be a little bit better, and I got
their defense has the worst running defense in the league amongst the top 2 boys, John. There you go. How about that? Put that in your practice. Huh?
I got us winning 31-23.
One of the worst rushing offenses. Didn't see Peyton Barber run for how much? 120 yards on Sunday against one of the good best fronts in the league. Remember?
In like 6 hours of football, sure, great.
Fine, but it only happened when it mattered, right? Like Brian Edwards and Ruggs, big catches at the end of the game, leading the league with big catches in the fourth quarter. You know what? This is the thing. The Raiders are doing what it counts. You know what? You could say, yeah, we almost lost 2 games in the first quarter. Did it. They came back. That's not the Raiders. That's not the same Raiders. These are not your same Raiders, Mike. Tell those kids.
There's a mute button, Mike. There's a mute button. Come on, Mike.
It's okay without children. Tell them, Mike.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I thought I had it on mute. I was going back and forth. This Zoom thing is confusing.
Okay.
What can I say? So I have grandkids, and he's complaining right now. He's letting someone have it. I'm about to let you have it. I'm about to let you have it, John. No, here's my game prediction or whatever you want to call it. Hey, Raiders Stadium West, right? We're going to own that stadium. There's no home field advantage for the Chargers. That doesn't exist here and now. Okay, hey.
Hey.
Fuck. All right.
Can you go on mute, Mike? And
Raiders.
I'll dub in the words that you're saying to the kids.
No.
You go on mute and you yell
Can you
at
read?
them. And
Can you read lips?
Yeah.
Can you read lips?
Let him.
Oh, Raiders!
Bring one of those
All
kids
right.
over. Bring him a kid in.
No,
With
he
that
said, you
being
know,
said-
I'm talking about the Raiders right now. Come on. The kids are supposed to be in bed.
No, don't tell anybody.
Hey, I know, huh? I think the Raiders have the edge offensively, and I think that the Chargers have the edge defensively, right? And I'm just going off of what I've seen, and I'm also going off of how they're ranked. Okay, so there's a major hot topic of dispute or contention. What wins ball games? Well, both wins ball games, I think. So the keys is going to be Richard and Jacobs. If they come back and they're healthy, along with what's the other nuts? Barber and Drake and so on and so forth. I think we need to. Yeah, I think that we need to establish the run game on this game right here, and that's no secret. You guys have noted that Chargers don't do very well against the run. Okay.
No.
And that's going to be essential, but it can't be one-dimensional. Carr's got to continue to spread the wealth to his receivers, and I think that with both of those things going on, I think that we're going to have sustained success, not just this game, but throughout the rest of the season. So, but he's got to be able to do both. We got to establish the run game, and he's also got to be Carr. He's been doing great under pressure. He's, he had that one mess up beginning of last game, but I think that
was more on Foster Moreau. That was not really his fault.
I heard that was Carr. I heard that was designed. If he's not being pursued, then he stops right there. I don't know if that's true. I heard that someone said that. The defense will have to step up more so than last week if we want to win, though. That's the bottom line. And here's something that I heard one of the analysts say, so I'm going to plagiarize them. We got to get to Herbert. We got to put pressure and disrupt them, or even sack them, right? But here's the key. It is said, and you guys can fact check this, that when Herbert is picked off at least one time in all his games so far, not very many, right? He's only been around for a minute. But when he's picked off at least once, he's 1-9. When there's no picks, he's 6-2. I think that this could end up being an old-fashioned shootout, offensive shootout when it comes down to it. I think it might come to that. And then my prediction is, I don't know, I'm just going to say 38-34. I think it's going to be more high-scoring than we think.
You got Raiders winning, though.
Yes. Oh, yes. Raiders going to win.
All right. And I agree with a lot what you said there. And the truth of it is, the other key to me, my key, I'm just going to spit it out now. I can't hold it. The Raiders have 4 coaches that were on the Chargers last year. So they know absolutely every in and out of what the Chargers offensive players do, especially Herbert. Period. So right there, to me, that's a huge advantage. Plus, we have a way better running game. We had guys banged up, so the numbers look skewed, but we're getting all our guys back.
Yeah.
And on top of it, we have a better defense than last year. We have a better defense than last year that won. We should have won both of those games last year. We have a better defense. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. I don't know the score, but 34-24 Raiders.
Well, with those coaches not being very far removed from the Chargers organization, that reminds me of some 2002 shit that happened to us.
Switchblade. What do you guys say? What do you say, Joe?
Joe already gave his analysis.
I'm saying 31-23 Raiders, and little Joe says 24-21 Raiders. Either way, Raiders win. I'd like to get close to the score just because I predicted it, but just win, baby.
That's all that matters. John?
I have Justin Herbert throwing for over 300 yards. I have the Raiders defense not showing up and collapsing a bit, and I have the Chargers quieting down that Raider-filled SoFi Stadium and finally converting. There's going to be, it might be such a beating of a 35-22 score, somewhere, some weird number in there on a Monday night.
So where everybody, me and my mom are going to go home sad on Monday night.
You're going to go home sad. Justin Herbert might kill the Raiders fans and convert them to Charger fans in a single game. And that's how great this will be.
Well, we all know that's not going to happen.
That's like saying you're going to make some Laker fans become some Clipper fans. Are you crazy?
See,
Man, come on!
That sounds like that's not realistic, John. That's not reasonable, John. That's unrealistic.
Not
All right,
reasonable.
Reasonable. You're right. I'm sorry. I got a little carried away because I'm
That's
just
a reach
so in love
around,
with it.
John. That's a reach around.
I'm so in love with Herbert. But what I'll say is Herbert is going to throw for 300 yards. 34-24. Chargers win. It's close, but then it's close, but there's a last-second touchdown at the end of the game, puts the Chargers up by 10. That's how the game's going to go.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. We have it all here. So, guys, thanks for coming out, and I appreciate everybody that's joining us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and whatever else. We're going to keep going, and just want to say sorry we missed little Joe today, but this young man's busy. So anytime he gives us, it's great. All right, guys.
Hold on, I got a question.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, I got a question. I know John changed his pick. I think he had the Raiders losing week 1, week 2. He had the Raiders winning week 3, but then last week he changed it. Would that make him 0-3? With that Raider
let me get
pick?
the big board here. Hold on. Let me get the big board here.
Then, yes, I think that I'm going to bounce back this week. Chargers victory is going to get me right back.
All right, according to the big board, John has the Raiders at this point 0-3 to the original pick.
So I feel like John is just a big freaking Raider hater. That's what I feel. I don't feel like
he did have the Chargers.
whatever the matchup is, especially now that the Raiders went into Pittsburgh and whooped that ass, and with his lack of faith now in the Steelers, I think he's just a big Raider hater.
I think John is we're going to start calling John Stephen A. John. He just tried to say the opposite of what everybody else said just to get everybody riled up. I like it. Okay.
I said, I gave you guys stop focusing. I said Derek Carr is having an MVP year. Why would I say that if I hated the Raiders? I think he's having an MVP year. I do.
MVPs win these games. It's a big game.
There you go. I just think that the Chargers are rolling, and maybe when the Raiders play somebody, who do they play next week?
Bears.
Who?
Bears.
The Bears.
Oh, yeah. Bears. Yeah, you guys will. I'll pick the Raiders right now for next week. There you go.
And the Eagles.
There you go. You'll beat the Bears.
I think the entire world is picking the Raiders next week.
There you go. I got them too. I'll probably bet on them.
No, I'm sorry. Bears, Broncos, then Eagles.
Yeah, Bears, Broncos, Eagles, and then Giants.
So you're going to win 2 of
Bears.
So you
I'm going
lose this
to
week.
tell you one thing, John. Like The Rock said. Know your damn role.
Hey,
All right.
so John, when is a good date to add you back to the group thread, the text thread?
I can't take
when are we clear?
Raiders,
Wednesday? Is it do we add you to schedule the
I
podcast?
can't listen. I can't have 45 messages of the 4th and 1 call and the field goals and everything. I cannot handle it. I scroll through and then I'll see in there something about Roethlisberger's gay, and I'm like, why? How does that have anything to do?
No.
Who said that? I didn't
It's an
say
afterthought
that.
at this point.
But-
Who said that shit?
I have to.
I talk about him as much as I talk about Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you on this, John. I have to say that we're on a Raider. This is a SoCal Raider report. Okay, so I know you're not a Raider fan, but you need to know about the Raiders.
I don't need to know your guys' opinion on whether Gruden should have went for it on 4th and 1.
Why? That's football. Why? That's football.
Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about that call. I you know what? During the game, I hated that call. I hated that call. But then you think about it. You just start thinking about it. Yeah, they didn't get it, so it looks worse.
Well, I hated the play call.
Right. I think that all Gruden was doing was showing that he had faith in the offense. They let him down that game, that play, whatever it is. But then that faith that he showed at them, hey, the confidence that he had in the offense, it came through in the end. So I hated the play call. And you know what? We can go back and forth, and if we like going for it, period. And during the game,
Joe.
Yeah.
That's like that's like Dave Roberts having so much faith in Bellinger, and then he finally had to make a call and say it was a bruised or fractured rib. Now, I get what you're saying, and I think what he did was like, hey, we need something to spark us right now because we don't want the game to continue like that. But again, you're just compounding things when you do it. I guess early in the game, but he just gave up a pick 6. Boot the ball, because remember, on the next couple possessions, I think we pinned him down, and that's when they threw that safety in the end zone. So that's the smart thing to do. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, if it would have worked out, it would have been, oh my God, he has guts. He believes in his offense, and oh my God. But they failed on 2 consecutive plays.
I think it's down the play call. But either way, hey, listen, we're out of here, guys. Have a great night. Thanks for coming in. Tell little Raider Joe we love him. And we'll be back next week. All right?
Go Raiders!
Go Raiders! Go Raiders! Go Raiders!
Peace out. Love y'all. Good night.
Later.